You've got a clear track now and then, or maybe you can pick up some pointers from Johannes Gruber and pull away. Otherwise, you know, the other guys, they have a deficit to deal with of about 7 seconds. It should be quite clear for the second position, in this case for Buzitsky. The guy who was in third position in the championship after 2 third places in the first 2 races in the Slovakia ring is the number 58 of Radek Kubica, and he's in 10th position right now, getting some value points. Personal best lap of a 2:06.4 at the moment. He's not picking up the pace of the leaders, and I think Erik Daniel has found something, doing a 2:01.8 right now, and is a lot quicker with this Kawasaki than the guy in second place right now. But he made the difference already in the first few laps, because we only got 3 laps to go, and I don't think that will be enough for Erik to catch Jaroslav, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye out.
For sure, he has an opportunity. We'll see if he will take it. As you said, a little less than 3 laps to go, 2.5 more or less. A big fight is there for the 4th place. There's Krajkamp Duda. But as we can see, they are also having bigger gaps as the race progresses.
Well, it's good to see, as you already mentioned, Mislav, that, you know, in this class, you know, this stock class in the Alpe Adria Cup 1000cc, everyone is fighting at their own level. You see a couple of guys fighting for 12, 13, 14 spot, you know, still trying to make the best out of it. And 209s, nevertheless, they, you know, a bit of close fighting going on there as well, in between Novak, Lukas Novak and Artur Bujacek. And they are having the fight of their own, you know, everywhere on the track they're having fights with them anyway. Well, Johannes Gruber doesn't have.
His best lap time is still 2:01.3.
But you can see he's lapping that consistently, so.
Yes, most definitely he has the pace, he has shown it in the qualifying. We're reminded he went to 1:58. That's extremely fast time, be sure. Anything under 2 minutes here is really like a dream, no matter if it was a 600 or 1000 cc bike.
Yeah, even with these kind of lap times, you'll be competing within the top 10 in either the stock or the superbike. So great effort for him. Yeah, he's from Austria. He might be able to, because to race here probably on more occasions. So he obviously knows the track. Otherwise, you won't be able to do consistently those lap times.
Yes, this is a track which is, of course, in Hungary, but it's Austrian owned. So we have a lot of Austrian track days here. So most definitely Gruber is well known to this track, and he's showing us that most definitely.
Yeah, it's imprinted in his brain. You can see it by the consistency of his lap times, and he doesn't need to push any further than that, because he's got it in the pocket anyway. So he's into his last lap right now. So in another 2 minutes, he's got the victory under his belt. Look at the gap he's already bridged. He's now 9.3 seconds toward Buzinski, who's still pretty not that comfortable anymore. If we look at the lap times of Erik Daniel, the gap is only 0.4 of a second, with the last lap of a 2:02.8 for Erik Daniel. So he'll have to really be careful not to lose that second place. Jaroslav Buzinski, who had a flying start to this particular race, and obviously is probably not going to hold on for that second place any longer with the pace that Erik Daniel is showing right now with the Kawasaki. Fortunately, we can't see that at the moment. as already a couple of back markers have seen Johannes Gruber come by. He's comfortably cruising towards his victory. Curious what's going to happen behind him for second place. Is it going to be Buzinski, who had the hurry-up go sign maybe from the pit wall, or is it, in this case, Erik Daniel already been passed? Gap again towards the fourth position to Robin Kraaikamp is a bit more. So he's not in that fight for second position. It's just a matter of waiting for start-finish to see whether Erik Daniel has done enough. Last couple of corners, last sector we're approaching right now, and we're
Przemyslav Purcha. Then Radek Kubista, Petr Stanek, Maciej Ukleja, Kristijan Kloček, Marius Cicovalc. And then we're expecting Novak Bujček, Kuril Dabrowski, and so on. So this is the end for the Alpe Adria Cup 1000 race. Next in line is the Honda Talent Challenge.
Yeah, the youngsters on the 250cc four-stroke Hondas.
We have two guys and two girls on the grid.
Yeah, we should have had a few more actually.
Yes, we don't know exactly what happened to the rest of the grid, probably some holidays. So today we will have 4 riders on the grid, 2 ladies.
All right, welcome back again here in the Pannonia Ring. And Hungary, we're here for our third race of the Saturday. We're looking forward towards the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship, and we're talking about the Honda Talent Cup. It's a fairly small field, as we explained before, where we have 3 different nationalities, 2 ladies and 2 young gentlemen racing in this Talent Cup. 250cc 4-stroke 1-cylinder machines, also known for other talent cups. Nowadays we're looking for talents to be able to step from this Honda Talent Cup towards the Moto3 category, which is really difficult to enter. We got some huge international fields available in the CIV International Italian Open and the Junior Championship in Spain called the CEV. And of course the Moto3, but further on we only got the British Superbikes with some Moto3s, and we hope to get some more talents toward the Alpe Adria Cup as well. Within the Honda Talent Cup, unfortunately, we only got about 4 riders at this particular moment. And we're looking at the winner of race number 1 in the Alpe Adria Cup, the 600 category, shortly. And we're waiting for the 4 remaining Honda Talent Cup riders here in the eastern part of Hungary at the Pannonia Ring. 4.70, what is it? 4,074 meters in total will be the track they're gonna take on to. They're racing a 10-lap race, which is actually more than the other guys.
Yes, this is a 10-lap race. This is standard length for the Honda Talent Challenge. As we mentioned, we have Luca Gottlicher and Tino Hole, and the 2 ladies, Marie Mende and Chloe Batu. A very wide range of nationalities, as you mentioned earlier, Martin. Just to explain, this is an entry type of championship where youngsters, more or less, can come and compete. It has been the idea of our organization that we have an entry Moto3 category, because basically this is a Moto3 bike, but a standard Moto3 bike, which is available for purchase also here in the Alpe Adria Championship, and also in the Honda dealerships, which trade the racing bikes. So we also have a good cooperation with Dunlop here, with Sal. You can see him in his well-known yellow shirt. Sal is the guy who is taking care of the tires, who is providing the crucial information for all the riders in all the categories, not just in this talent challenge.
So to get into that straight away, it's like, you know, the information that a tire manufacturer gives to a young rider, such as these young girls and boys, you know, they learn how to read those tires. Is that also a part of the education?
Of course, this is an excellent situation that we have here. That we have the Dunlop guys directly from the factory, you know. So a lot of times there are here some tires which need to be tested, and of course I must add that for this Honda Cup, Dunlop has made a good tire with affordable tire. So that is the most important thing, to keep the costs down.
Yeah, to get a lasting tire as well. So, for them to learn how to understand the tire, and of course, if you got a standard machine, the difference of the tire will be more difficult to read. Nevertheless, for them, you know, working in these circumstances, you know, with a slippery track, high temperatures, I think it's a part also of the training for them to learn how to cope with those situations and have a good tire manufacturer at hand to explain what's happening with the motorbike.
Of course, the technical information is the most crucial. Way before, when I was competing in the Alpe Adria, it was very difficult to get proper information about the tires. We didn't have technicians here then. So this is to show how much things have changed and how much more data and information we have to provide for the riders and for the teams as well.
Yeah, good to see, and it's the rostrum for the 1000cc, which we have here right now, and in third place it's Jaroslav Buzinski, who had the lead in the race for a while. Wasn't able to keep up the pace because it was the number 2 position of Erik Daniel, who was able to get second position after a few really good last laps, and overtook Buzinski. But the guy who actually dominated the Alpe Adria 1000 category, it was the number 35 of Johannes Gruber. Thumbs up, pictures there. Back to the grid of the Honda Talent Cup. They're on the warm-up lap. And as we said before, there is still a bit of a battle going on, especially because our Danish friend Tino Holle, number 46, and you can guess what his favorite rider is. And he has a total of 75 points now, and it is Luca Gutlicher from Germany. Lucky Luck Racing Team, good name for him as well, but he's got pole position, so he's got one over Tino, and they're on their way.
They're on the way, yes. So Gottlicher and Holle off to a good start. Mende slightly asleep at this start. So,
but we also have our French little lady, because she's more, also doing something well for feminine awareness within the racing, doing a bit of modeling in the side. But then meanwhile, she's quite fast on a motorbike as well. It's good to see that.
Yes, exactly. It is nice to see a wide range of female and male riders, of course. This is Chloe Batou, number 47.
Championne de France Féminine RC Cup Vitesse, as it's in her CV and her record says. So she's been on different bikes, also on the KTM RC390 Cup. And good to see that she made the step towards this Honda Talent Cup. Yeah, going from the one-cylinder KTM Cup now to the 250 category Honda right now. But the two boys are already on their way, and I think they're going to make a nice fight of it together. Let's see if Luca, with his better lap time in the race, is able to get away from our Danish friend Tino Holle, the number 46. Yeah, they're already on the pace, breaking away from the two ladies. Who'll probably have their own ding-dong a bit further on the field, as long as Chloe can keep up. But she had some difficulties within the qualification, because if you look at the lap times, you know, everyone, the boys were in the 207, 208 bracket. Marie was the 209er. There was a 222 for Chloe, so there's something wrong there.
This is, as we mentioned, a technical track, so a lot of training is required to get to know the secrets of this track. She had slight problems with the front brake, but most definitely she's gaining the experience, and she was much faster in the qualifying than she was yesterday. Yesterday she was just getting to know the track, and today she went 8 seconds faster, so we can see progress, and for sure we expect her to be even faster in the upcoming laps and in tomorrow's race as well.
Let's keep an eye on that one. And
this is a very good lap
already
from the start.
From a standing start, almost the same as her fastest lap so far. So learning quickly, as you say, Mislav.
Yes, and that is the most important thing, that we can help young riders here in the championship to overcome their troubles and become faster and faster. So that is the whole point of this talent challenge.
Yeah, she came from the MX series, from the cross, and now gone to the the tarmac, from the dirt to the tarmac.
And that is very difficult because in the dirt bikes you're taking a completely different lines and it's a completely different theory of riding.
Yeah,
so, and she's been competing in the road racing championship or in the circuit championships for 2 years now. So a lot of progress for her in those years and in the years to come.
Yeah, it's good to see. As you said before, it's good to have a basic in the MX series because you're not afraid of a motorbike who's moving around. That's what they have constantly. But where a racetrack is constantly the same, more or less, for everyone. MX is every lap is different because the track keeps constantly changing.
Yeah.
So there's a different mindset to it, and here it comes down to precision, especially with these smaller classes where they really have to keep the flow going, have to get the momentum going, brake as little as possible. And I think Luca's got a good rhythm right now because he's been playing catch towards Tino over the first couple of races in this season. But I do think our German friend has really got the rhythm right now on his side and has broken away a tiny little bit in the first lap.
Yes, his lap time is 2:07.1 comparing to Tino Hole, 2:08.2, 2:12 for Marie Mende. And
let's wait for what Chloe is doing.
Yes, to see her best lap time.
2:19, that's a PR for Chloe in this time because she made it to 2:22 during the qualification. So that's a steep progress already, another 3 seconds gain there.
Yes, once you get to start to get a hang of it, it's much more easier.
Yeah, but it's easier to get into a group. If you got a group of 4 or 5 equally matched, it's easier to catch a real wheel and drawn into the race and get that adrenaline going and see what they're doing and learning from there on. But if you have to do that on your own,
it's much more difficult for sure.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful track, but to be honest with you, there are not that many reference points here. You got no markers here, which are your braking points. You really have to be here on a number of occasions to get your clipping points, to get your braking points right, because there are not much landmarks here to pinpoint that.
Yes, there are a couple of bumps where you can.
Okay, the bumps. Yeah, you might know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can use them as a reference point, but of course it's much more difficult. And as I said earlier, you have a lot of connected corners, and that is the most difficult part when you have a corner after a corner. So you have to compensate the first one to gain a better exit speed from the second one. So, as I mentioned, this is a big technical track, and not everyone manages here.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it later on because we had a few interviews at the beginning of the day with some of the riders who had not been here before, and we can see that they are, trying to make the best out of their race and see if they can make these swooping lines. If you make a bit of a mistake, it's going to cost you over the other upcoming corners as well.
A lot of concentration needed, therefore, for this track.
Yeah, I had hoped that Tino was able to maybe keep up with Luca, and that the difference in the lap time in the qualifications would have been, due to a moment in the qualification. But it looks like that Lucky Luke, has really got the rhythm here for this particular track, and he's pulling away ever so slowly, but fast enough to already bridge a gap between first and second of 2.578 seconds.
Way in front is Gottlicher. Lucky Luke, as you mentioned, the name of his team. Of course, regarding his name.
Yeah, he's not wearing a cowboy hat but a helmet as it is supposed to be. Nevertheless, he's probably named it after his favorite comic. And one has to be a bit lucky every now and then, isn't it, on track?
Of course.
You know,
Luck is the most important thing.
yeah. You know, you can. Of course, you need talent. Of course, you need good material. But especially in a race, you need a better luck every now and then.
In races, of course, luck often judges everything.
Yeah. Also being in the right place in the right time. Yeah, I do think still with the diminish of the 125s, where we had affordable machinery, the lower classes are still struggling. I think the Supersport 300s, which will be welcoming here straight after, has been a good choice for youngsters to get into. Nevertheless, it's a different type of motorcycle altogether. Probably more referring to the motorbikes youngsters can buy in the shop, whereas these were actually built, purposely built as races.
Yes, of course. Those are actually the differences between GP bikes and super bikes.
Yeah.
You have a commercial type of vehicle which has been modified, heavily modified, of course.
Towards a race machine, and these
Yes.
actually were produced as race machines.
Exactly,
as
exactly.
well for the 125s and the 252 strokes.
Of course, and the most important thing with those bikes is that they're, as you said, built for races, and therefore it's much easier to work on them. Literally, you remove the plastics, you remove the tank, and everything is there. You know, it's a couple of bolts, and the engine is down. So that is why these properly built racing bikes are so special. And as you mentioned, in the Supersport 300 category, we have production bikes, which are available in any dealership, but are heavily modified, I must say, because this is not the Superstock. The Superstock 300, it's the Supersport. So those bikes are heavily modified.
Yeah, and they're a lot quicker again. You see the difference, like we saw the races in Assen last time out, because we were racing together with the R3 Cup, which is more stock-based Supersports. If you compare those with the World Championship Supersports machines were there in the 300 category, there is a difference, of course. And that's of course that's the same here with the bigger classes, with the Superstock 1000, the super bikes as well. Yeah, what you can do. And but nowadays, you know, especially the Superstock machines are so powerful that there's not so much of a difference between the super bikes and the Superstocks anymore.
Yes, of course, the differences are much more smaller. But the main thing is the costs. You know, when we had the opening season with the 300s, it was the Superstock category. But since the World Championship has been held with the Supersports to encourage riders to come and train here and to be more related to the World Series, we decided to put the Supersport category instead of the Superstocks in 300. So
yeah, it's what you get. You know that the popularity of the Supersports category within the World Championships has already forced quite a few national championships to go towards the same specifications. Nevertheless, it could have been a bit more affordable, and that was what the earlier 125s were anyway. But there, it's the same, you know, squeezing those last couple of brake horsepowers out of 125. That also included some investment. So, well, racing is not cheap, but it's good to see that we got a standard talent cup here still available for young talents to race on. And Luca Godlacher is doing a great job right now. He's pulled away gradually, lap by lap, but just constantly lapping in the 207s. Not, you know, never letting down the concentration. He's doing a 207s constantly, and that's quite nice to see what he's doing that way. So, just only a couple of laps to go here. We got 5 down, 5 to go within the Honda Talent Cup, and good to see that the girls are still on track. And let's have a look at our French little lady, how she's doing right now. 225s, you know, not having the pace she had before. She has been able to do 219, and at the moment not keeping up with the pace. Nevertheless, in the lead still, Luca Gottlicher for Tino Holle, for Marie Mende and Chloe Batou.
So still in the front is Luca Gottlicher, in front of number 46 Tino Holle. Third position is still being held by Marie Mende, and fourth is our Chloe Batou. There are 3.5 laps to go in this Honda Talent Challenge. And after this race, we'll be continuing with our program with the Supersport 300 category, which has a strong grid also today, as it was in Essen. And we expect big fights in that race, which is set to start at 4:35. At 3:15. At 4:35, it's the Superstock 1000. So at 3:15, we have the Supersport 300, and then at 3:55 it's the Superstock 600, and then the Superstock 1000, as I mentioned, at 4:35. And at the end of our broadcast, we will be with the Superbike race at 5:15. Also, we expect a big fight there between Hanika So a lot of excitement yet to come. As you can see on the screen, 3 laps to go in this Honda Talent Challenge Dunlop Race 1. So a lot of excitement still to come, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, tomorrow we'll be together again with the second day of racing here at the third round of the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We must add that this broadcast has been brought to you by Lutek Racing, the main organization for the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. On your screen, number 47, Chloe Batou. Probably we will have exciting races tomorrow as well. We'll be starting early tomorrow with the Alpe Adria Cup 600 race at 10:50, and the Alpe Adria Cup 1000 at 11:25. Then we'll be continuing after a break with the Honda Talent Challenge at 1:20. Then continuing with the Supersport 300 at 2 o'clock. Superstock 600 is set to start at 2:40, and then the Superstock 1000 at 3:20. And of course, tomorrow we'll be ending as well with the Superbike category at 4 p.m. sharp with the deciding lap. So a lot of races in front of us. We will see how everything will go. We hope without any crashes and troubles. That is the main thing, and the fastest times will come as well.
We've seen some serious. We're a bit ahead of ourselves, Mislav, for this afternoon, but I'm really quite excited because I've seen some incredible fast lap times in stock 1000 and in superbikes. So looking forward what that's going to give. I think we got a more competitive field than we have field of riders than we have ever had before so far in the championship. So I'm looking forward to that one. Even the stock is 600. It's going to be a nice battle. Yeah, this is a small field, and of course, therefore, not much tension and nothing much excitement going on the track, because they're having their own races right now. But nevertheless, I think we've got plenty to look for this afternoon. And tomorrow, I talked to a few riders with the temperatures predicted over the 30 degrees, well over the 30 degrees. I think that will be presenting some new challenges again also for the tire manufacturers tomorrow.
For sure. we'll see if we'll get any wind, because it gets windy here and then it manages to stay a bit cool. So the wind maybe saves the day, but if we'll have high temperatures, for sure the tire manufacturers will have a lot to deal with.
Yeah, that will be a nice thing, you know, when we talk to Karel Honeycutt this morning. He's riding for Bridgestone. We got Michelin, we got Dunlop, we got Pirelli, we got Metzeler's even.
Yes, almost all the manufacturers.
Yeah.
So that is always nice to see.
Good to see. That will make a bit of a difference here and there, but there's still plenty to come. First of all, of course, you got the Supersport 300 coming up after this race in the Honda Talent Cup. But credit is where credit is due for Luca Gottlicher. I think he's doing a great job. He's overtaking the lady now. You see her actually caught by the fact she's been lapped. Says a lot about her, all in her own zone. Trying to figure out where to go. But with a lap difference of about 20 seconds a lap, that's a lot, even with these kind of machines.
Probably she lost a bit of strength or some bike trouble. We'll see to that later for sure.
Yeah, figure it out. Or maybe lost some confidence here and there. You don't know.
We are in the last lap of this Honda Talent Challenge race. Still way in the front is Luca Gottlicher, in front of Tino Hole and Marie Mende, our second lady of the grid. So most definitely it's nice to see young girls compete as well. As we mentioned before, this is an open type of championship in all the categories, so people are welcome from all around the world and all around Europe as well to come and join our championship to compete.
Yeah, because Europe is not part of the whole world, is it?
Of course. Yes, but we have also some races for the European Cup, so people get confused. Therefore, we have to clarify for them. Yeah. We have from South African Republic as well.
Yeah.
Tarik van der Merwe. So.
Van der Merwe, yeah.
Yes. So.
That's Dutch. That's all Dutch. We're going to talk about it later. Zuid-Afrikaans. You got your languages, I got mine. So sometimes I can throw something in from the Netherlands again.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of riders from all around the world. So that is always nice to see. And,
yeah. That's true. I think that's what you're saying. We should welcome everyone, and we would love to have more young talent from any corner of the world competing here in the Alpe Adria Cup. So yeah, it's a shout out to the world. Come and join us.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. All right, there he goes. Checkered flag is for Looky Look, and it is Luca Gottlicher, who had a great start and a commanding lead, and I think the consistency of his lap times is absolutely worth an applause. So he did a great job, and his main rival in this case also, he was leading the championship till so far, Tino Holle, did not have an answer on this track, and maybe he could find something here on race 2 tomorrow, while Chloe Batu was also passed by Tino in the last lap. And yeah, obviously the fact that she had been passed already by Luca threw her off a bit. So Marie is still on track, and hopefully she'll finish soon, because the lady in the tower is waving the checkered flag, and that means that our fourth competitor within this class already also finished in third, and that's Marie Mende from Germany. All right, that's about it for the Honda Talent Cup for today, and that means that our agenda, as you already mentioned, Mislav, we'll proceed with the Supersport 300, and we're off for a break, and see you soon.
We're with Supersport 300 rider Matyas Amador. He's currently third in the championship after 4 races. He's racing for the first junior team in the KTM RC390. All right, Mate, you just had qualification, 5th, second row. How was qualifying?
Milyen volt ugye az érzet, ugye az időmérő edzés után, hogy érezted magad? 5. vagy, második sor. Magyarul mutatod.
Jól éreztem magam, sikerült elég sokat javítani, és sikerült megszereznem második sor közepét, és boldogak vagyunk az időeredmény miatt.
So he said he is very happy about the qualification. He had some improvements after yesterday, and he would like to fight for the better places. So they are really happy.
Short prediction, what is it going to be like this afternoon? Prediction for the race?
Mi a terved a versenyre? Mit szeretnél délután?
Hát szeretnék dobogóra állni, és minél jobb helyezést elérni. Szeretnék az első 5-6-tal csatázni, és ha van rá esély, akkor talán meg is nyerni.
Yeah, he's a true racer. So his plan is to be in the podium, but you know he's a true rider. So he would like to win if it's possible. So the first plan is to fight with the top 6 riders, and then the podium. And if everything is fine, they would like to fight for the victory.
All right, Martin, thank you very much. Good luck on your home race, and hopefully see you on the rostrum.
Thank you.
Alright, a very warm welcome back here at the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We're up for the Supersport 300 category. And if I'm right, we got a clip at hand which we shot during the qualification this morning. Just after qualification, we are going to the young Hungarian talent of Matyas Amador. Waiting for the director in to cut in. They're not there, so I hope to get a cue for that one as well. Which means we'll go back to the starting grid and hopefully get a cue if they got the clip ready. Which means that we had qualifications, of course, this morning. And Miroslav Rava, he was the guy from the Czech Republic on the Kawasaki who had the fastest lap in the 2:06.62. Together with our Italian matador Manuel Rocca from Cinco High Tech, also in this case on a Yamaha, was in second.
Third position, Jirin Espesny, and fourth, Maxim Repak, and then fifth, you mentioned Matyas Amador.
Sixth for David Kuban, and the seventh for Mateusz Hulovic. The eighth position for Barnabas Zola. And Michael Bulic at the third row, completed in 9th spot.
Christopher Bodis on the 10th position, then Filip Kurek and Leon Lambing also on the 12th position.
Yeah, and then the next row is for Filip Feigl, Gasper Hudovernik.
Yes, Gasper Hudovernik.
Hudovernik as it is, for Pavel Sobchik. And then next row is yours.
Michal Buziasek, I believe. It's the correct way. Then Kamil Barcik, Mateusz Durniek.
3 Polish riders in a row, and the fourth one is there Demjanjuk.
Demjanjuk, yes.
And followed by Marketa Strnadov.
Marketa Strnadova, she is also a female rider who is competing here in the Supersport 300 category.
Marchetta, I was a bit thrown up because Marchetta was the name of the Italian speed skating coach. So I was a bit thrown off there.
Yeah. Behind her, it's Jerzy Klemba, and then Christian Plozinski, and on the 23rd place should be Roman Kuchera.
Yeah, we just saw the image of Mislav Rava and the number 7 here of Manuel Rocca, our Italian friend who's currently 4th in the championship after also being present in all 4 races, and that's also the case for the and while we're looking at Yuri, I think for Maxim Rep, the one we're supposed to have seen in the little clip we had ready, and the youngsters trying to keep cool as well. You see them having the towels over their head, trying to keep cool in the hot conditions. Some of them have their own umbrella, mum or dad, with them, or umbrella ladies sometimes, depends how old they are. You see, he's already got his girlfriend. This is our Hungarian friend Matyas Amador, who we spoke earlier this morning. He's got his own girlfriend with him. Good on him. He's got his umbrella girl already arranged. That's the real professional. We even got some ventilation going on here, trying to keep cool, and he's cool and collective. You can see that, fully concentrated already for the race.
It will be an exciting race for sure, although we have 1 second difference between Hrava and Rocca. But this is a race and anything is possible. We have then a group of 3, Rocca, Nespesny and Repak, who are very close, riding at 2:07s, so only a couple of tenths in between them. Also behind Repak is Matyas Amador, only a couple of tenths.
Yeah, and
divide from the second
yeah, and he said, I'm a racer, you know, some of these guys, you know, qualifying, getting the right toe, being together with them. Yeah, a track like this is why we're looking at the number 666, the number of the beast of Filip Kurek at this moment. Is there a case of slipstreaming going on as well on this track?
For sure, in the lower categories, you can always rely on the slipstream because it's very important, especially here when it gets windy, and we have a slight wind here as well today. So the slipstream can be a crucial part. The slipstream can have a crucial role in the race for sure.
Yeah.
Because and also you have a lot of lightweight riders. That is also very important.
Yeah, some of these guys are really lightweight, are able to climb behind the bubble and get out of the wind, but some of them are so lightweight that they actually are influenced by the weight. It all depends. This guy has a bit more weight to him, so he won't have as much problem. He's his own umbrella girl. That's good for him. Pavel Sobchik on the Supersport 300 holds his own umbrella. He doesn't need a girl.
Yes, we have a couple of riders who are a bit older, you know, not so much young and lightweighted. So that is always nice to see because no matter about everything, the thing is that this category is still the cheapest among the others. So that is the reason that we have a bit older riders here, with more experience. Here's our lady, one lady on the grid, Marketa Strnadova.
Already had her helmet on, keeping it warm. We got one rider in this case coming all the way from Poland, from Flying Buffs, Christian Polzinski. He was not able to get the 100% bracket, which was set at 2:19, and he had a 2:23. So unfortunately, he's not on the grid.
Yes, therefore we have a.
Oh, he's on the grid. Yeah, they probably corrected the time here. They've allowed him that, which is good news for him.
Yes, well.
That could have been him. I don't know. That was too short, that clip. We couldn't decide who it was, but at least he was smiling and having a good time. That's the best thing, you know. He was having a good time. All right, we're clear on that one. That's good to know. Also a race for 10 laps. If we look at the championship, we had Olivier Koenig from the Czech Republic, who had 2 wins in the Slovakia ring, but he wasn't there in Assen, and he's not here as well. And the other way around was for Jeffrey Buisel, is competing in the World Championship as well for GB Racing Dutch Motorsport on the Kawasaki. He had a win and a 2nd place in Assen and wasn't there because it was his home ground and training facility for the World Championship. But these both guys have 50 and 45 points added up. So the regular contenders start off with Matyas Amador, as we already said, for Manuel Roca. Then we have another guest appearance of the name of Ruben Bergman, who had a really strange crash in race number 1, if you can remember, on Saturday in Assen. Picked up the bike after the crash and had a great race to catch up and become 5th in race number 1, and actually won race number 2 and is therefore still 5th in the championship. If we look at the regular contenders who've been there for all 4 races so far, we're going to have a look at the number 41, Jiří Nespesny. And Jiří is also starting for front row, so he's got a good chance in building onto his tally for the championship, which also is the case for Manuel Roca. So these are the guys for the championship we probably have to keep an eye on. For Manuel, Jiří, we're talking about Matyas Amador. So these guys are there, and Maxime Rapak, do you think he's going to be there the whole season as well?
I believe he will. He also joined the championship, and he's very fast.
Yeah, Hulbig Motorsports also with the Kawasaki, and I don't think they have decided on the tires because they've written in Pirelli and Dunlop. So is that a mix there? Any idea why they write down both brands of tires? Is
really can't say for sure why would they do that, but probably there is a reason.
Yeah, I know for sure for some Supersports championships that some riders were so comfortable with certain tires that they were actually running mixtures, like let's say a Dunlop rear tire and a Pirelli front tire. I know from occasions it happened. They never say it out loud, but sometimes they do.
To tell you the truth, I haven't seen that.
I've seen
never.
It. I've seen it. I know for sure some riders have done that in the past. And, but they're not saying it out loud, of course. Lost confidence in a tire. But it's a unique situation there. Okay. I think we're probably almost ready to get this show on the road. And let's see if these youngsters, young gentlemen, not all of them, and a young lady can get a nice show on the road here in the Supersport category. 3rd race weekend of a total of 6. Here at the Pannonia Ring in Western Hungary. And we're off next to Oschersleben in July, Grobnik in August, and Most will conclude this series in the Czech Republic. So plenty of races to go, so also for this highly competitive Supersport 300 category. Always good fighting on track. So let's go for it, let's prepare. Grid is being cleared. That means that we look at the temperature, 29 degrees.
Yes, it looks unbelievable that it's that low, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I thought it would be more. Somebody left something on track, all right. Yeah, better take it with you.
I believe that's the 30-second mark.
Yep. He went back for it. I thought he just went home for a cup of coffee, but now he's putting it up and taking it away. That's good for the start. Audience is in the shade on top of the pit wall, looking at the riders. They'll be off for their warm-up lap.
Everything is set for the warm-up lap, and off they go.
Yeah, it's a warm-up lap, so it means that they have to get close to race speed. Not full out, but at least get enough friction in those tires, friction in those brake pads. You get it to optimum temperature as well. It's not, going around like a slouch. You need to get a bit of a pace going in a warm-up lap, but also take into consideration that you don't have to wait too long on the starting grid. That's always a difficulty.
Yes, of course. We mentioned earlier that the most important thing is to have good temperature in the tires.
What kind of tires do you run? Is this threaded, or are they allowed to do slicks? I can't remember.
No slicks allowed. No slicks.
Threaded tires, yeah.
Yeah.
Road versions of the sticky road versions.
Yes, actually the same as they're riding in the Superstock 600,
Yeah.
for example.
All right. Thank you for helping me out in that case.
Only, of course, smaller
Yeah.
tires, but the same model, everything the same.
Yeah, it's a Supersport 300 category, but we see different cylinder configurations. We see different cubic inches also within the cylinders. So, but all done by restriction in RPMs, because you can't compare a 400 with a 300. And like we have here the KTM, which is an RC390, which is a one-cylinder. They all got their own characteristics. And what do you think which will suit this particular track?
As we talked about every time, it's not about the bike, it's about the rider, because there are so many lightweighted guys here on track that.
So no clear advantage for the Kawasaki's or the KTM is there or whatever.
No, for sure, because when you have a big group of riders, then slipstream is everything.
Yeah.
And of course, here we have a technical track, so it will be interesting to see how those young guys with who don't have so much knowledge but have speed will manage here.
And keep their head cool, that's also a point.
Yeah, that's important as well.
Adrenaline kicks in, and then they have to keep their head cool and be sure that they make it to the finish line, because that's where the points are being presented by the organization for their championship tally in total. So especially look out for the guy from second place, who's actually fourth within the championship. And those guys are going for the points in the full championship. Waiting for the rack flag to depart, and hopefully can go with you through these first few sectors. See if everyone's safely on their way. 23 on the grid. Red flag has been moved away, and then we'll have to wait for the lights to go out for a 10-lap race. On the set. Oh, it's a brilliant start for
Kuchera.
Yeah.
Kuchera managed to get a good start. We saw a couple of wheelies in the back.
Which is not the fastest way of departing Dubai, to be honest.
For sure.
Looks spectacular, but it's not the fastest way to get on the way if it climbs into the chain. Our poleman, Mislav Rava, did a great job getting from the first slot on its way with his Kawasaki, but already being challenged here in the first couple of corners. While we're having a look at Filip Kurek at the moment.
So I have to apologize, it wasn't Kuchera, it was Hrava with the good start. Kuchera is not competing here today, and it is Christoph Bodis. So 21 actually riders on the starting grid.
Yeah, we're missing Kuchera and Bodis. They are both not here, did not start. I don't know which reason they had, probably some technical issues. Back to the head of the field, which is in side right now.
The number 63 in the lead.
And that's still Mislav Rava.
Yes, Miloslav Hrava, sorry. And right behind him, it's, I believe, Maxim Repak on the second place.
So they had a good start coming from fourth. From the second row, but it's remarkable. That's already stretched out more than I thought actually in this first lap. I thought that we'd be tighter together. You see already breaking up into bits and pieces already in this first lap, which says a lot about Miloslav Rava with his pace already being set in this first lap.
Roca is there in the leading pack.
We're looking at Leon Lambing, who was in Asse but was not able to score any points there. And we're up for our first NEC trying to get out of that slipstream. Is it still Repak out of that slipstream? You had it well, Mislav, it was good. Maxim Repak for Mislav Rava, for David Kuban. Manuel Rocca for Jiří Nespesny, for Matyas Amador. And Mikhail Bulik, the 7th spot for Filip Kurek. And that was quite close together in these first. You see that there the slipstreaming was going on, because at this particular moment it is Mislav Ravo already retook the lead from Maxim Repak.
Yes, Repak lost the leading position, but this is still very close. We have 4, 5, 6 riders in this leading peg, although those on the 5th and 6th position are a bit behind, but nothing much. We have to keep in mind that those two are Samado and Nespesny. So
yeah, they should be able, if they work together, they maybe to catch up on this particular group. And same accounts for that group of 6. You know, don't fight too much amongst one another, and see if you can keep one another's wheel, and see if you can break away for them. 2 groups forming right now. While we're looking at David Kuban with the KTM.
Still with the leaders, it's Miloslav Hrava, still in the front of Maxim Repak and David Kuban.
He looks quite comfortable in the lead at the moment. It doesn't seems to be taking him too much of an effort, but still not completely breaking away from the rest, although he's trying, I think.
Still a group of 6. Repak, Hrava, Kuban, Roka, Nespesny and Samado.
Yeah, see in the flowing corner bits there, you know, it was Ravo who was able to just...
Somebody is down.
The number...
Mateusz Durniek. Mateusz Durniek is down, number 113.
Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race by Hrava, 207.6, compared to 207.8 and 2.7.7.
Yeah, and
from Repak and Kuban.
The twisty bits, he's, you know, capable of pulling away a few bike lengths, but in the straight, he's been caught again. But now he's trying to open up enough of a gap in this particular lap, maybe to break away in the straight as well and break the toe. And if he's lucky and they're fighting amongst one another behind him, he might be lucky to get away with it. Nevertheless, for the race, it would be fun if they all stay together, especially in that first group of 6 people. You see, we're looking at the gap between number 5 and number 6. We were talking about Matyas Amador, whether he was able to bridge that gap, and I think he's done quite okay. 1.1 seconds, and I think it was a lot better here. 3.2, 3.8, that's it. Yeah.
Samado is 1.1 seconds behind the leader, but only 0.2 of a second behind the guy in front of him, Jiří Nespesny.
So he caught up in this particular lap, and he still amongst that group.
Still, we have a pack of 6, although Hrava and Repak are breaking away slightly. Now Roka goes on the inside and passes in front of David Kuban.
Yeah, beautiful overtaking. By the book.
Yeah,
really clean overtake. Well, there he goes. Being caught back again.
Yes, but goes wide.
Undercut, you know, went slightly wide, and you need to keep the flow going. In the meanwhile, that allows Rava and Repak to get away. Oh, very wide line there. Both of the guys using all the tarmac available. New fastest lap, 207.6, but it's only fractional faster than Repak. They're evenly matched. And I think the other guys are trying to catch up as well again.
So Hrava, Repak, Roka, Kuban, Nespesny, Samado. Still the leading 6.
Then we got the gap to Bulik. Ola, Kurek and Hulevic. And they're pretty tight together, with Leon Lambing trailing tiny little bit behind that group in 11th position. That's our leading duo.
Can Repak maybe close down on Hrava and threaten his leading position? There's still a lot of time to go. We have 6.5 laps to go.
I think we're going to have a look at the Italian bloke of Manuel Rocca, because I think he's doing particularly well in this lap, because he bridged the gap almost on his own towards Ray Pak. And if we look at the screen right now, you can see he's trying to catch up and probably make a 6-liner freight train out of it again. That will be nice. See if we can pull David Kuban and Jiří Nespesny and Matyas Amador also with him and have a nice freight train again. 12-wheeler freight train. We're looking at it.
Sharp left corner and then exiting towards last corners. Last 2 right corners before exiting onto the start and finish line.
That's our unfortunate friend being brought back to pit lane.
Hopefully it's Durniak.
Hopefully get things finished for tomorrow's race. He's got another chance to score some decent points.
The fastest lap of the race now is being set by Manuel Rocca.
Did I predict it or didn't I?
Yeah, 207.3.
Not much in it, but nevertheless he's bridged the gap and he's closing in on Maxime Repak at the moment. But not much in it, you know, they're evenly matched within this top 6 and just fractional differences. But now he's been held up mid-corner. You see, he really had to set up the bike a tiny little bit with Manuel Rocca. Definitely he's got the corner speed, but probably not entirely the top speed available to him. But he's using the maximum effect to close that gap towards Maxime Repak at the moment.
Still no changes in the lead. Hrava pulls away slightly. About 1 second is his lead. Actually 6/10 last time they went over the start finish line.
Yeah, it looks a tiny little bit more. And if Maxime Repak is more worried about Manuel Rocca is coming, that could distract him a tiny little bit towards his pursuit of Mislav Rava. Yeah, it's looking definitely more than a 6/10 at this moment, Mislav. I think he's pulled away tiny little
second,
bit.
yeah.
Looks like it. And it looks like Manuel is, Rocca is held up a tiny little bit. You can see he can, you know, choose his lines. Well, Matyas Amador is doing everything to keep up with them. He finds it difficult to get into these 207s, and you need 207s to be able to keep up with this group.
Yes, he's just a little bit short. And we see that this leading group is a bit stretched away now.
Yeah, we said a second, but it isn't. It's 0.7 of a second. That's the lead that Mislav Rava's got at the moment. For Maxime Repak, Manuel Rocca, Jiří Nespesny, David Kuban and Matyas Amador. That's our top 6. And then our top 7 is Mikael Bulik with closely behind there Barnabas Ola, Mateusz Hulovic, Filip Kurek, Leon Lambing, Gaspar Hudovernik and Filip Feigl. Our lady in the field currently residing in the 18th spot right now.
Little less than 5 laps to go. Still no changes up in the front. Rocca still trying to catch Repak for the second position. Nespesny is half a second down.
Quite curious if Manuel is able to pass Maxime Repak, whether he'll be able to catch Miloslav Rava, because I think he's got the outright corner speed to maybe get really close to him. But nevertheless, top 3 is there. We're looking at the number 666, so we're looking at 8th, 9th and 10th spot right now. On track, also close together. Back to the leader of the race, Miloslav Rava. Doing a great job. You see the different line Manuel Rocca is trying to take.
Yes, trying to take it inside. maybe overtake, but still Kawasaki is in front of him.
Yeah, the difference in motorbikes between the Yamaha and the Kawasaki. So 2 Kawasaki's in front on the Yamaha and Kawasaki, and then 2 KTM's to just give you a bit of an image of the diversity of the motorbikes within this Supersport 300 category.
4 laps to go, still unchanged situation. Now we have a group of 4, we can say. Then Kuban and Samado are falling back.
If you look at the latest lap times, it was actually due to the personal best lap of Maxime Repak that the advantage Miloslav Rava had over him has diminished from 0.7 to 0.5 of a second. So it's due to the effort of Maxime that the number 63 bike of Miloslav Rava is not able to get away.
We'll see what can be done in this 3.5 laps, which we still have to go.
Yeah, and this part of the track he's able to just pull a tiny little bit more of a gap, but it seems to be that during to the last sector the other guys are able to catch up a bit, but with 3.5 laps to go they should be right on his wheel before the checkered flag has been dropped after this 10-lap race. Don't know whether they're going to run into back markers if we look at the lap times. Have you seen that?
The back markers still maybe they will catch up Polsinski, but and Klemba maybe, but
yeah, now we're looking at the last sector here in front of our commentary position. You can see that now these tight corners there where they can make the difference a bit on his own. Yuri Nespesny. While Manuel Roca is not able to overtake Maxime Repak, but it doesn't make much of a difference, while the last best lap still in his favor. But the close match, the numbers 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3 are really close match, and we can also take Yuri Nespesny in that equation, because they're all capable of lapping in the 207 bracket.
It'll be interesting to see this final few laps. Kuban and Samado are now way in the back.
Yeah, Samado is not able to keep the pace. He's dropping back to a 209 now. Not able to close the gap to the guys in front of him, but pretty safe if you look. We can have a look behind him of the Yamaha of Michael Bulik. Camera is trying to catch the leaders. And that was probably going to be one of the midfield riders in the backpackers, what we were talking about, the number 61, that's one of the back markers.
Yes, that's Plozinski.
We were guessing they could be maybe a deciding factor in these last couple of laps. Because the difference in speed, as we mentioned before, the race was quite severely. That could really make the difference. And I do think it has played into the hands of Miloslav Rava in this case.
It looks so, but it's still too early to call it.
Was able to pull off the fastest lap so far. Wow, Manuel Roca is going for the inside again. Beautiful inside line, but does he have enough speed to get to the next corner? Now he's getting the outside line. His door is being shot in front of his nose. So he was momentarily in front of him, Manuel Roca for Maxime Repak. But Repak repaid the favor straight away in the next corner. It was a tighter line, but nevertheless not enough speed to keep it going. Next passage. But we're close to one another. He'll have to pick another point. You can see he can keep tighter lines with the Yamaha than the Kawasaki, but misses a bit of the grunt. Again, a few back markers. This is the fight. There he goes for the inside. Late braking. Now see if he got enough speed with his tight left hand to get out of it. Looks like he's done the job right now. Has he got enough speed to go? Oh, he misses the outright speed. Now the side to side next to the right hand corner. Is it Repak on the outside? Is it Rocca on the inside? That's the question. Camera's trying to stay with him. They're side by side fighting for the second and third position, which will allow Miroslav Rava to get away. Wow, next to one another. This is a nice one. Yeah.
Yes, Rocca passes onto the second position. Repak now trying to get back on to the place which he has been holding for quite some time.
Yeah, trying to go around the outside, which is not room enough. Oh, he's looking over his shoulder. Is that Nespesny who was trying to interfere as well?
Yes, that is Jiří Nespesny on the fourth position. Very close also, waiting for a mistake from the Repak and Rocca.
Repak has retaken. Oh, he misses his braking point way too much and goes into the gravel trap. You saw him overtake Manuel Rocca and he falls over. Oh, that's a shame. We were talking about it.
Yes, that's a shame for Maxim Repak.
Yes, my dear friend, that's what happens.
He's such an unlucky guy. Also had a situation first time around.
Yeah, he couldn't have it that Manuel Rocca was passing him. He retook him, but overshot his braking point and ended up in the gravel track. In the meanwhile, Manuel Rocca inherited now the second position. Jiří Nespesny, due to the fighting for the two guys in front, has really caught up again.
Yes, but Nespesny is now very close to the leader. Sorry, to the second placed Manuel Rocca.
Yeah.
So this is far from over regarding to the podium finish. This is our leader.
Yeah, Miroslav has really gained an advantage due to the dogfight which was happening behind his back, and he took full advantage of it. If we're looking at the last laps of Manuel Rocca, and then you can see they have lost about a second in that particular lap fighting amongst one another. So that's with one lap to go, probably done and dusted for Miroslav, if he keeps it on the tarmac anyway.
For sure, he has it in a bag. We'll see. Can he keep it up? We are watching the fight for the second place between Rocca and Jiří Nespesny.
Looks like Nespesny's got a bit more in his pocket. He's got a bit left over in these last couple of laps. Maybe Rocca has done a bit too much in the earlier lap. Nevertheless, he's closing the door, keeping a tight line. But it is Nespesny who looks most threatening of those two guys, youngsters fighting for second and third position.
Trying to use the slipstream.
Oh, there's an oil flag there. Did you see that?
Yes, probably some oil on the track. Off the start and finish line goes Miroslav Rava.
Yeah, he got it done. And here then we're waiting for the guys for second and third. And there he is.
Over the start and finish line he goes.
Whoa, look over his shoulder, don't look. That's the guy for second and third place. Next to one another.
They almost touched. They almost touched. Maybe they even touched.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Nespesny passes onto the second position in front of Manuel Rocca.
Yeah, that was a bit of barging and fairing, banging going on straight finish.
Yes, we would love to see that again, of course. But what a race for Nespesny.
Yeah, he left it all to the last corner. He had a bit more speed coming out of the last corner. They were side by side. They touched. And the slightly smaller Manuel Rocca really could barge out of the way and had to take third position. So, concluding, Miroslav Rava for Jiří Nespesny and Manuel Rocca. Fourth position for David Kuban. Matyas Amador, fifth, sixth position for Michael Bulek. The seventh position is for Mateusz Hurovic. Then Barno was Ola on 8th position. The 9th position was Gaspar Udo Vernik. Maxim Repak ended up. He picked up his bike because he still was able to
he
finish
managed
in
to
10th.
pick up the bike.
We missed that on screen, but good for him. There's valuable points there. Yeah. 11th slot for Filip Feigl for Leon Lambing, and 12th slot, 13th position for Pavel Subchik, and then Kamil Barczyk, 14th and 15th positions, and last point scoring position for Michael Budziadzek. Now, nice, exciting race going on there. Bit of unfortunate for the number 16 Maxim Repak, but good to see that he regained his composure, picked up the motorbike, and was able to still collect some value points for 10th spot.
So this would be more or less the end for the Supersport 300 category. We'll be taking a short break now, and we are continuing with our program with the Superstock 600 category, which is set to have the cycling lap at 3:55. So stay with us and talk to you soon.
We're here with Richard Bodis, European Superstock 600, leading after 4 races. Just come back from your qualifications on pole position. So, how is the weekend for you so far?
So yes, our weekend started a little bit strange because we have some problem with the bike, with the electronic, with the quick shifter. But we improve it for today, and also have problem with the setups in the rear and also in the front. We build a totally different bike like in Assen, and it's working. You can see in the lap times. What is the problem for us is the track condition, because have some work outside of the track and a lot of sand in the track, and also the asphalt is not so much smooth. It's like a lot of bumpies, and that's why we fight. All rider fight with the grip when we accelerate from the corners, but we are really happy because we step forward and when we make improvements.
Yeah, wonderful, because everyone's struggling with the same conditions at the moment, but as we've seen in the qualifying, you got quite a bit of a gap to second place right now.
Yes, our sponsor is Pirelli, and I think Pirelli give me a very nice tires for this round. And now it feels like it's the perfect way to ride with Pirelli.
Okay, any predictions on who is going to be the competition for this afternoon?
I hope I will fight with the lap times, because I would like to make my fastest lap time in here, my personal lap record, what is 57.0. But now the track condition, I don't know, it will give it to me or no.
Let's hope it will get to you and aim for the 157. All right, good luck for the race, and hopefully see you later on in the weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Okay, welcome back here on the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship here in round 3, and we were just looking at Richard Bodis, home favorite of course, and leading the championship in the Stock 600 category for the BR94 team. Doing great here and having difficulties and trying to get the show on the road again for the next round, and they have been qualifying this morning of course, and you heard it on the sometimes a bit more tricky circumstances with the wind and the temperatures. Nevertheless, aiming for a good race this afternoon. He was able to get it on pole position this morning with it 158.13, and he will be accompanied on the first row by Austrian Kevin Runner with the Yamaha as well. Most of the main contenders will be on the Yamaha, which is clearly the bike to have in this Superstock 600 category. The first row will be concluded by Jiri Mirkivka. We're here while we're seeing the schedule for the day. We have the Cup 600 and the Cup 1000 already. We had the Challenge, we had the Supersport, and of course we'll have the Supersport Stock 1000 later on together with the Superbikes. Which means that we'll go for a race of 12 laps now in this beautiful Superstock category. And we'll be doing the commentating here live on YouTube for you here from the commentary position. And I won't be doing this on my own. I have my dear friend Mislav Perkozic with me here, who's been competing here professionally himself for a couple of years. Also been on the rostrum, wasn't it?
Yes, a couple of times in the small category, and a couple of times when we had our national championship here. So it's a complicated track, as we mentioned so many times into the program. We have a lot of tight corners, and this is a narrow track. So riders need a lot of concentration to stay in line. They have to think ahead. They have to keep in mind the coming corners. That is very much important. So a lot of laps in this race. We mentioned that this will be a 12-lap race. So Richard Bodis, as you mentioned, is the local hero here.
And he's done remarkably well during the first few races, you know, getting full marks even in his favorite track, as he said, in Assen, which was quite surprising. He really liked this track, and although this is his home race, he's having found some difficulties getting the pace done, but at the end, you know, he was quite satisfied getting the pace underneath the 2-minute bracket with the Supersport, so that's quite good. Already mentioned first row, second row. If maybe we can switch with the camera position later on, we'll see them, of course. Maybe the Marcelli will be there. Marcelli Bezulski from Poland, Bezulski Racing Team, also in the Yamaha. For Tomasz Eder and Jaromir Schlup from the Czech Republic on the David Motor Racing, also on a Yamaha, only found out with Dunlop. We got Pirelli, Dunlop and Bridgestone on row 1, if we are talking about the tire manufacturers. And if we go to row 3, we'll be welcoming there the number 9 of Lukas Walschutter from Austria as well. Since we're quite close to the Austrian border, we go back to the finishers in the Super Sport category, where we'll seal our Italian fan Manuel Rocca, who was you know, pushed off the line, and sporting handshake for the guy who actually more or less pushed him straight to his third position is Yuri Nespesny, who got the second position here in the Super Sports category, and remains, of course, the guy who won number 63, Miloslav Rava, and that's what it is the rostrum for the Supersport 300. Wonderful race we just witnessed here on our live stream here on YouTube. He's gone for the toilet. Don't worry. He's not there.
Yes, for sure he'll come.
Hopefully he will. Otherwise, we'll have an extra prize to take along with us. Or he's not there. Strangely enough.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Great result.
Waiting for our winner, but out of our shot, so we can't see what's going on right now there. Nevertheless, we got about 33 riders on the grid. If we were talking about a full grid in the Stock 600 Alpe Adria, we have 2 non-qualifiers, but we'll see what race direction has decided whether they're going to be added to the grid. Otherwise, we'll have 35 guys on the grid, and ladies as well, because we have 2 ladies on the grid, and they're both from Finland, and they're not the slowest. Oh, it's the team captain taking the honors, and taking the prize at home. He knew he won, but where he went, we don't know. Nevertheless, the prizes are there.
Nevertheless, we are continuing with the Superstock 600. This weekend we are missing one of the guys who has been with us this first part of the season. It's Martin Vugrinets. He is not here, so we'll have a fight for the second position for sure, because Richard Bodis has well over 2 seconds advantage on the qualifications, 2.3 seconds to be exact, so it's hard to say that Rainer and Mrkivka will be able to get close to Bodis. So
yeah, and also the fact that, you know, the point lead for Richard is quite significant, with 3 wins and a second place so far this season. So he's absolutely the main favorite, and which means that the other guys are trying to fight for the remaining points in the calendar. Nevertheless, there are quite a few races still to go, so plenty to go for. As you already said, Mislav. We were talking about 2 ladies in the field, both Finnish ladies. One of them is actually already a world champion.
In the sidecar you mentioned.
Yes, Kirsi Kainalainen, and she has been world champion crowned together with Pekka Päivärinta, who is performing later on today within the World Championship of sidecars. And the other one, and they know each other of course very well, is actually starting from the 11th position. There's Jasmin Sarrios, also from Finland on Yamaha, doing really great. It's good to see those two ladies mixing it up and showing some promising pace. The one on the Yamaha, the other one on the not so obvious choice nowadays anymore, but also very nimble Suzuki GSXR 600R. She's also trying to compete in that one. Sign's already been put up for 30 seconds, which means that everyone is preparing, putting the helmets on for the warm-up lap.
Still comfortable 29 degrees. A little bit of wind as well. Almost ideal conditions.
Yeah, the wind picked up a tiny little bit, as long as they don't throw enough debris, because they're working on the new track down here. They are creating a new kart track.
Yes,
here.
the kart track, yes, but that is being built for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So a bit late.
So it's a beautiful track with nice facilities, but one part, because due to those building activities, is a bit barren. This looks like an open pit, which actually is a prey for the wind, and therefore throws a bit of dirt into certain parts of the track, which is not good for the grip. Nevertheless, you know, these stock riders are capable of handling this pretty well. You already mentioned, Mislav, that Richard has got the outset pace. But if we look from second row down to, let's say, maybe even position 15, 16, they quite evenly match. So we're probably going to have a look and have a fight towards the full top 10. And but Richards was finally able to get back into the lap times he was accustomed to. Although he said to me, you know, well, I haven't raced here that many times, because it's been a long time since we were here anyway. So on the left end, we got the full grid there presented to you, and we were, signs are being given at the last minute. This means that all the assistants have to clear the grid for this Superstock 600 race. We mentioned the two ladies, and I mentioned one of them, and the other one was Kirschi, of course, and she will be starting from the 20th position. Has raced a full year in the Dutch Championship as well, and now has her own team with a 2:03.9. Was quite happy after qualifications yesterday, because she couldn't get the pace then. But it's good to see those amongst them. We were talking about Jasmin in the 11th spot, 12th spot for Robert Zalas, for Thomas Subert, and Silvio Fiori, and he's actually from the Italian part of Switzerland. And you had talked about him earlier in 16th position, the number 132 from South Africa.
Yes,
Tarik
van der Merwe.
Van der Merwe, he's with us again. So really international field.
Yes, mentioning him, we have to remember he was competing in the Supersport 300 category last year, so moved up to the 600s.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, and I'm talking especially for the Dutch guys, because you know, if they grow too tall, they outgrow their motorbikes, and then they have to go to
Yes, that is often a problem. You know, you have riders that have been small for quite some time, and then
they hit puberty, and then
yes,
they go.
They hit puberty around 17, 18 years, and then they become so tall that they can hardly manage a 600 bike. So it's hard to have everything lined up.
What country is that?
That's
No, well, we're looking at nationalities, and we're just figuring out, because we had most of them are now Yamahas, as we mentioned. We got the old Kawasaki, we got the Suzuki from Kirschi, but we have still one of the remaining Hondas from Macedonia. and that's also good to see that somebody still got the faith in, because they're very reliable engines, the Hondas are, but to get them really up to speed, it takes a bit more of an effort.
Yes, it's a different story.
Yeah. Ristan Buzolkowski still has his faith in the Honda. You can be quick, you know, but you need to put a bit more effort in to get them really quickly.
But last year we had Gergo Molnar in the Super Sport category. That's a bit of tuned up category of the 600s, and Honda was very competitive last year. So when it's
properly tuned, they should be able still to fight for, but nowadays...
Yes, but as we mentioned, this is the Superstock category, which has a different regulation type, where you cannot use a lot of things that you can use in the Supersport. So only slight changes to the engine are allowed in this category. The bikes are meant to be stock.
And since Yamaha is the only one who still got a homologation for road bikes, and one of the few brands which is still developing Supersport machinery, is the most obvious choice with the new EU regulations. They are still being produced and sold, although you can still get the Kawasaki's, but they have the 636 now again back on the road, which is of course over the 600cc and not suitable for the stock class. All right, we're off. We're almost preparing for our race of this afternoon. Race, the first of two, of course, for this weekend at the Pannonia Ring here in Hungary. And we're looking at a 12-lap race and see if there is anyone around who can give an answer to the fast local hero Richard Bodis, leading the championship and has got the best papers in hand to make a good show out of it. Waiting for everyone to find their slot on the grid. There's a yellow flag woven there halfway the grid.
Somebody cannot start his bike.
Then you have to be removed from the grid.
Red flag. It's a red flag for the start. So you will have to go out, and we will have a quick restart procedure.
So we'll have another lap before they go into the same position again. Aborted start due to somebody who stalled, and this is a very dangerous situation. If they start and this particular rider wasn't able to get off the line, remind that you got 33 riders already on the grid, and even the guys in the back of the field, if they start off and open up that throttle, by the time they reach the start and finish line, they have already achieved speeds of way over 100 kph, 100, 200. So that will mean that the guy who will be there sitting as a dead duck in the water, or as a duck in the water, will be difficult. So they got a 1 minute sign up, and have another warm up probably.
Yes, another warm-up lap, and then we'll have 11 laps in this race instead of 12.
Yeah, and that's also has to do with the fuel load everyone has taken in, because that's what you do. These guys calculate exactly how much fuel they have to carry just to get the out lap, the warm-up lap, the race, and the cooling down lap, and that's all the fuel you need. You don't want to take too much weight with you.
Yes, everything is calculated, especially with the fuel. So I can assure you that 90% of the riders on the grid are having the exact amount needed for the race. So
while some guys are already picking up their hand again.
Yes, this is the normal actually situation where when you are slowing down, you're raising your hand to let other riders know that you have
an issue.
Not an issue, that you are slowing down, because I believe that is number 94, Richard Bodis, is having his hand up.
He doesn't want to be waiting too long in the beginning of the track.
Yes, probably he wants to come in last when everyone is settled onto their positions, so he don't have to wait.
Yeah. But then still you have to go for a bit of a pace in the second part of the lap, otherwise you'll be cooling down yourself too much anyway. So it's a bit of a balance you're trying to find. What I said before, you know, warm-up lap is not, you know, but just, you know, strolling around. You need to get a bit of pace going on to get temperature into your tires and your braking pads. Still looking good. Conditions are close to perfect. So we're on for a good race. There he is, number 94, as you mentioned.
Yes, he's with the guys way in the back. Only a couple of motorcycles behind him before the safety car.
Yeah, probably due to the fact he had to wait a bit too long already on the first formation. Yeah, it's always a bit of a nervous situation when you're, you know, you're full of adrenaline, pumped up for the start of the race, and it's been cancelled. That's always a bit of a dodgy situation. Regaining your composure, getting back into the warm-up lap, getting that concentration back again.
Yes, it's difficult to get the concentration back on. So
it's good sometimes to have heart rate. Can you call it odometers? You know. Sometimes you can see what the heart rate is just before the start of the race. For some of them, it's really peaking, and it's the adrenaline going through your veins, especially just before the race. And that whole show has to be put on the road again. All right, second chance, and hopefully everyone keeps the engine running. I don't know. We couldn't see who went off the track. We might be able to restart from pit lane.
Yes, depending on if he managed to start up his bike, so we'll see that.
If they is capable of rejoining the race, yes, as you mentioned before, Richard Bodis taking his time to find his slot in pole position, left-hand side of the track. Red flag goes to the side, and then we're hopefully off for a race. And it's a good start for Kevin Runner. He was the guy who reacted best to the light. See if we can get the whole shot, or is the 94?
No, it's Bodis up in the front.
If everyone safely goes through the first corner. Quite tight, some of the guys running wide.
Everything is good. Bodis breaks away immediately.
Oh, some of them riders just cutting through the field, finding different lines through traffic. There we see the number, I think we saw the number 7 of Jasmine. While the audience is enjoying the sunshine here on the Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon still?
It is.
It is.
Strange, isn't it? It feels like, I just realized it's Saturday afternoon. I got an idea. It's, yeah, no, it's Saturday.
Yeah. First day of racing here in round 3 at the Pannonia Ring. If you've just joined us, we already visited the Slovakia Ring this year in Assen. So now here we are at the Pannonia Ring here in West Hungary. And in your screens is the Superstock 600 category race. First race of the weekend for this class. Right in the front, number 94 on the black Yamaha. It's Richard Bodis, number 94.
Local hero.
Local hero who immediately breaks away and has well over half a second, even I believe more, maybe even a clear second of advantage.
The first lap, and he was actually pushing for it. You could see it, eh? He was really pushing for it already.
Yes, he knows that he needs to break away, so no one can take the slipstream or maybe
even find
pick up some lines from him. Bodis turns away to check where the second placed man is, and who will. It's Kevin Reiner behind him, and then Jiri Mrkivka, Jaromir Chlup, Lukas Valhuter, Thomas Eder, Marceli Bezulski, and then Jasmin Sarios, Petr Kachaba, Bartolome Chavala. And that is our top 10 for now.
A good start for Yasmin, our Finnish lady. Started in 11 already, progressed to the 8th spot, and you were talking about more than a second. It's actually 1.9 seconds from a standing start for Richard Bodis, which is a
but
masterclass.
Yes, that is what we were talking about. He had a clear second of advantage. Clear 2 seconds advantage, even more in the qualifying. So
it was also to be expected, but still, you still have to deliver on race day. And had a great start. You can see the full field in slow motion towards the first corner, and everyone getting safely through. And there on the inside, you see the lady at hand, Yasmin, with the yellow Yamaha there. She's hoping to be a guest while we see the number 10, the guy Jirimir Kivka, taking over the second spot from Kevin Runner. Doing a great job and trying to pull away straight away. Maybe he can get into pursuit of Richard Bodis. But a change in position here for the second place within the championship in the race right now. So runner for Mikivka.
still a lot of riders very near. In a possible fight for the podium. But way in the front is number 94, Richard Bodis.
Also a very good start for Jaromir Schlup. Fourth at the moment, started in 6th position, so he got away well.
So Bodis immediately goes under 2 minutes, 1:59.7. Runner is on 2:0.7. Clear second difference between them in the last lap. Then we have 2:01 for Jirimir Kivka. Also Lukas Valhuder is in the 2:01s. And then Hlup Eder Bezulski. And the Kachaba on the 8th position, 9th. One of the girls, Yasmin Sarios.
Yeah, also good start for Lukas Valschutter in 4th position, while he was able to start from 7th on the grid. So also good start for him, and top 10 all clearly away. And let's see what it because it pens down now. Everyone's settling down, and we already mentioned it. Richard Bodis is just checking out, and he just has to keep it on the road in order to collect some more valuable point for his complete tally of, for the championship. Nevertheless, very focused, very concentrated to keep it on the road. It looked like our Jirimir Kivka was trying to pull away. He's got a good pace, but well, I think it is Kevin Runner who's trying to keep up with him right now as we speak. Next passage we'll see if the rhythm and the pace will go down, because as we said, there's a huge contingent of riders who's capable of doing low 2-minute laps, so they should be fighting there within the top 10. Well, Bodis has still got a clear track, but he will definitely run into traffic in the latter part of this race, because, you know, with his pace...
Yes, but for sure it won't make any difference, because you can see that it's such a huge difference between him and Runner that it will be impossible for anyone to come even near. 1:59.5, new fastest lap of the race for Richard Bodis.
Yeah, he'd probably be looking for some consistency, what he was saying. You know, he needed to get the consistency under his belt, and don't be put off by any bumps, or just go for it. Keep these Pirelli tires in one piece. So Bodis for a Runner for Mirkivka, Lukas Valschutter for Jaromir Schlup, for Eder Bezulski, Kachaba for Sario, still residing in 9th position. 10th position is for Kabala. Bartolomei Kabala, number 133 from Poland, also with the Yamaha for Juzak, and Tarik van der Merwe in 12th position for Silvio Fiore. And Kirsi Kainalainen made a great start with the Suzuki, because he actually started from way down the grid. And the feisty girl is a fighter, because she started from 20th position already up to 14th position with the slightly underpowered Suzuki, to be honest with you.
For sure, a lot of underpowered Suzuki, because when Suzukis were still actual, you know, 10 years ago, they were underpowered. So
yeah, 2000, 2010, 2011. Nevertheless, you know, you prepared them well.
even before in 2008, 09.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, this is a stock category. So slight modifications to the engine.
That's it.
The complete exhaust from cylinder to the back, and of course the suspension is redone completely.
Yeah, for her it's more a fact of more relaxing on the bike, because she's sometimes so uptight as a passenger. She's got a tremendous condition, really strong, and it's more like keeping the flow of the Suzuki, because it's a very, you know, you can. It's an agile bike. It's easy to turn. So there you go. If you look at the lap times, everyone is improving right now. We're talking about Mirkivka, Waldshooter, Eder also all improving in the low 201s at this moment. And that will go up to the 9th pot of Jasmine Sarios also in a, she did just that, a 202.4. And that's really already into the brackets of their qualification time.
Good time for her, only slightly above 0.4 of a second is difference between her and Marceli Bezulski.
Yes.
Here is number 3, Nicolo Trevisan. He's a bit down on the grid. He had some problems.
Yeah, we haven't figured out the guy who actually went into the pit lane. We have got two non-starters, Peter Feigl and Buzalkowski. And
one of those two was had a problem, and obviously Trevisan also had a problem. Otherwise, he would be here. In the points, somewhere around the 10th position. He's also an experienced rider who has been competing in the Alpe Adria Championship for quite some time, especially in the two-stroke category.
yeah, well, he probably obviously had some technical issues because he pulled into the pit lane after 2 laps. So unfortunately for him, so hopefully he can get things on the road again, and will be competing again tomorrow.
Yeah, he also had slight troubles on the qualifyings today. They didn't put enough gasoline into the tank, so he had to finish early in the gravel. With
you can cut down on expenses, but not throw fuel into the tank. I don't think that will make a difference. Yeah, if you want to go racing. Yes, I think that's the wrong way to go.
So not a fortunate day for him. Hopefully tomorrow he'll have more luck and join the top riders here at Pannonia Ring.
Still quite a bit of movement. You can see, Richard is still, pushing quite a bit, because you see the movement going around in the rear wheel.
Not just that, you can see the lap times. He's every lap under 2 minutes, so
Pulling away lap by lap, already a deficit of 7.34 seconds towards the guy in second place, which is Kevin Runner now, who has been able to pass Jiri Mirkivka again. So these are still fighting for second and third position in our timing screen, but we're looking at the screen right now, and we should still be live with the same images as you are seeing right now on television. Nevertheless, something is different in our timing screen. We'll check it out on track straight away when we got the camera back fixed from our leader in the race, Richard Bodis. Right now we'll see if it is Kevin Renner, the number 96, or is it the number 10 of Jiri Mirkivka, who's actually currently in second position.
Still a lot to come. We have a little over 5 laps to go. Now when Bodis passes onto the start and finish line, we'll have 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, in this Superstock 600 category, after which we'll have the Superstock 1000 race, and of course the Superbike category following the Superstocks.
Yeah, that was the 69 of Kevin Renner for Jiri Mirkivka, so they traded places again. And Runner, our Austrian friend, has been able to pass Jiri Mirkivka again Lucas Waldschütter auf der vier. We go in English. We're just trying to skip from one language to another. Now, Lucas Waldschütter in 4th place for the 5th place of Thomas Eder for Jaromir Schlup and Marcelo Belzucki. Jasmin actually gained a slot and she's now in 8th position just for Marius Jusak. And the top 10 is completed by Bartolomei and Kavala.
Yes, I believe we have a situation with one of the bikes. Somebody's dropping down the order, but I cannot say who it is at this moment. That is Petr Kachaba, I believe. Yes, number 88. He was in front of Jasmin Sarios. You mentioned that she's now on the 8th position.
Yeah, that's due to that fact. Well spotted. Well spotted.
Yes, that was the situation. Anyway, we are still looking at. Okay, not this second looking at the leader, but we are still here now with the leader at this moment. Will be now 4 laps to go. And little by little, Bodis is taking this one home with a big advantage.
Yeah, look at the last lap he did. Still a sub 2 minute as one of the only one doing
all the laps are after the start are under 2 minutes, and even this one 1:59.924.
They say it's like a Swiss clock, but since we're in Hungary, this is a Hungarian-produced clockwork. So he's doing great. You know, he's doing great.
So Bodis, Raner, Mrkivka, Valhuter, Eder, Hlup, Bezulski, and then Sarios, and she's quite close to Bezulski.
Yeah, and I think
only 0.2 of a second is between Jasmin and Martelli, so she's very close to compete for the 7th position overall.
And I think our director is picking up on that one right now as we speak. There she is.
We have her on the screen.
Yeah, with
yellow Yamaha.
With the ponytail dangling underneath her helmet. And really putting up the pace. And actually we saw a personal best also in the guy in 4th place, Lucas Waldschütter. So there's also a fight going on there. Maybe also towards the rostrum still, so we're not there yet. Well, we've got a runaway leader with fights for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and also between the 7th and 8th slot, as you just mentioned.
It's a tight race indeed.
Really tight race, and see, we see Bodis would like to look a bit further back and see if there is a fight going on for 3rd and 4th, or even back to Jasmin. Well, she's not Princess Jasmine from the Genie, but she's got magic qualities by guiding this particular Yamaha around quite smoothly here on this track in the Pannonia Ring. So, doing a great job.
This is an excellent performance by her, because we said it so many times. This is such a hard and technical track, and to see a girl here on the 8th position and fighting for the 7th and almost 6th position, it's really an extraordinary result. I cannot say that I recall a female rider competing in such a high level in this big category, even in the other categories.
Yeah, we have to be impartial, but to be honest with you, we would like to have the mixture from all nationalities and all sexes as well. So if there's anyone trying to support her, hopefully she can do the whole series again with us in the near future.
Yes, she has the speed, and she's not a local. She's way.
Yeah, all the way from Finland. And we look at Kirsia, there are other Finnish ladies. It's good to see that we got some very competitive Finns, because she's gone from 14th to 13th position, and has diminished our Swiss competitor Silvio Fiore to the 14th position. She's gained a slot, and that's also fighting amongst in the 203.38, and then looking forward to Thomas Subert, although I think he's a bit further away on the road. But even Kevin Renner is still doing well for himself, keeping the pace, also almost towards the 2-minute bracket. Might be able to get this done.
Still, we are with Richard Bodis, and after he passes, we'll have 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, in the Superstock 600 race.
We got some questions coming on if we were doing the sidecar here on the internet. Unfortunately, not yet. We hope to do that in the future. We're negotiating that. We had hoped to do the live streaming since we have the camera, but there will be nice summaries, of course, on the website of the FAM for the Super Side World Championship sidecars later on. And yeah, maybe we can join forces later on and get that show also live on the road on YouTube. Questions coming in here on our channel, and hopefully we have answered this sufficiently for you. Yasmin has been able to get just in front of Marcel Bezulski, now in 7th position.
That's an excellent result for her.
Yeah, the number 7 in 7th slot.
In front of her, there is Jaromir Hlup. He's a little over 1 second in front. We are with Bodis, who is now taking one of the back markers. Closing down on him for sure.
Yeah, for the first time above the 2-minute bracket round for him, which is quite normal. Now really going forwards towards these back markers, as you said, Mislav. Won't hold him back, you know, his advantage is over 12 seconds, so no problem there.
Yes, he will have no problem overtaking them without losing any particular time.
But doing it in an orderly fashion, that's, you know, if you are the faster rider, you should decide where to pass the back marker. But the back marker should just keep his lines and go on their way. But like the proverbial knife through hot butter, he's cutting through the back markers right now. Blue flags are being woven by the marshals to point out that the faster guy is coming. Let's have a look at this fight for second, third and position. Kevin Renner in second, then Jeremy Kivka in third, and Lucas Walschutter closely behind, and there's a bit of a gap towards the number 5 position, which should be coming towards the start-finish line shortly. That's Thomas Eder, and then waiting for the number 261, Jaromir Schlup. Is he still in 6th position? Yeah, and then we got that freight train, Jaromir Schlup, Yasmin Sarios, Marcel Bezulski. They're all very close together, and we're talking about 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th slot. 12th position for Thomas Subert, and then it's waiting for a couple of seconds. 201. So
she's closing down. Only 1/10. It was 1.2 seconds between her and Hlup, and now we have only 1/10 of a second because she was a clear second faster in the last lap, and that was her personal best for Yasmin Sarios, Finnish lady, competing on a very high level here.
201.918, well spotted, Mislav, wonderful. So we have the images of the leader on the track, of course, because he deserves to be in the shot because he's got that on a late lead of 12 seconds. But of course, we're trying to keep an eye out on everything and everyone on track, and that's that fight which Mislav mentioned there between 6th and 7th position, Jaromir Schlup and Yasmin Sarios. And I just lost the count of the laps up. We
are in
the last lap. Yeah. We're busy monitoring these lap times, and now we're forgetting that we're already in the last lap. He's looking over his shoulder, which is not necessary because the checkered flag is for our home favorite, the number 94, Richard Bodis. Beautiful victory for him.
Yes, we are waiting for Kevin Renner to come right behind him, and Jaromir Kivka on the 3rd position. Lucas Walschutter is set to pass on the 4th position in front of Thomas Eder, and Who will come to the 6th position? Will it be Jaromir Hlup or will it be Our Lady Jasmin Sarios?
It is close. I don't think she's done enough. Is it enough? We'll have a look. There they are.
Yes, she did. Yes, she has it. 6th position for Jasmin Sarios.
Actually improved herself even again within the last lap, and I think it's worth having a chat with her where this came from, because it's all come down in the last lap. So beautiful performance there, and let's continue with our top 10. 8th position for Marceli Bezulski for Mariusz Dzisuk. Then Bartolomeum Kabala for Tarik van der Merwe. He finished in the 11th slot for Thomas Subert. And Kirsi Kainulainen ended up in the 13th position, started in 20th for Silvio Fiori from Switzerland, Robert Zalas, Raimund Zollinger, Michael Ronek, Gerald Gruber, Zinedek Ort, and Jaroslav Shumic. That's the top 20 in one breath.
So this is all for the Superstock 600 category race. We'll be now taking a short break, and we'll be back with you soon with more action live from Pannonia Ring with the Superstock 1000 category. Stay with us.
Attention for the Superstock 1000 group.
right here. We're with Superstock rider Christoph Bergman from Sweden. Last time out in Essen it was a bit of a lonely race. Now we're in Hungary at the Pannonia Ring. So how are you doing so far?
So far it's looking quite good. It was the first session we did yesterday was quite hard because it's a new track for me. And I didn't expect the track to be so narrow and so bumpy. I heard from other riders that this track is bumpy, but I didn't expect this. So the first session I was a little bit all over the place. But for the second one, when I went out, I expected this and I knew which way the track was going. So in this one I was almost 4 seconds faster on the second practice. So and in the qualify now is going good. Another second from yesterday, so I think for sure we have the pace for the Superstock race. But we are going out in the Superbike as well now, and I don't have the same feeling with the bike, and also it's a bit more competitive in Superbike.
Good. Now you're looking for some competition in the Superstock as well. You're on pole position. What's going to be the competition for this afternoon in the first Superstock race?
I think to make a good race you have to be quite smooth, not to try to push too hard because it looks like you are going a bit slower because of all the bumps. And you need to be quite precise on the line. If you miss the line by a few decimeter or half meter, track is quite much worse. So you need to be precise.
You're going to be precise again on the Superbike. Good luck. And condition-wise, you're still okay?
Yeah. It's a bit hot, but which is not so normal for me from Sweden. But so far it's quite okay.
All right. Good luck for the races this afternoon.
Thank you.
And see you later.
Thank you.
Yes, nice interview with the guy who is actually departing from pole position. Welcome back here to the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We're up here for the next item on the agenda, and that will be the Superstock 1000 category. As you've seen, trying to get used to the track, but doing a great job in pole position. Christoph Bergman 154.16, and yeah, we'll talk about later what another effort he made, because he was already giving a bit of a spoiler away that he's also competing in the Superbikes.
Yes, in the Superbike, of course. He's competing in 2 classes, so we expect a lot from him.
Yeah, straight after one another in that case. Although we have on our timing screen a bit of a difference here, which is strange to our starting grid. Nevertheless, we'll stick to this because
I think it's like this for sure.
Yeah, well, let's stick to what we got here on paperwork. It's a pole position for Christoph Bergman, and he's accompanied on the first row by the number 33 of Marek Skopek, and the third guy on the first row is Arnoud Friedrich.
And behind Arnold Friedrich we have Kamil Kremien. We have to apologize to Kamil because we have been mispronouncing his name not only this season but the whole last season, so my apologies.
Our apologies.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course, our apologies, but I have to apologize for myself, especially for the last year, because we have been doing it all wrong. So as we said, Kamil Kremien on the position number 4. Right beside him is Michal Praszek, and the 6th position, number 14, Mate Lacko, and then 3rd starting row on the 7th position, Michal Sembera, and then 8th, Tomasz Switok, 9th, Artur Wilebski, then number 10, on the position number 10, Florian Hassler, Jaroslav Szczesny, and then on the 12th position, Hannes Zemzauer.
Yeah, quite a few nationalities again, of course, here where we have the people from the Czech Republic, from Hungary. Mate Lacko, of course, is a home favorite here, departing from the 6th position on the starting grid. From Switzerland, Florian Hüssler, and that's the only Kawasaki here with Dunlop tires available in the stock category, which is of course the official European Championship. Now, don't give away too much, but if you look at these lap times and we compare it to the Superbike, which got a huge grid ahead, it's really competitive, this Superstock category, and we had a bit of a lonely race for Christopher Bergman, as I said before in the interview in Asse. He was a class on his own, and on this track he still has to prove that, because he's quite new to this particular track, but nevertheless he's going to make a double effort, because this is a 12 lap race, and then he'll be jumping straight into his other spec bike prepared by the Wojcik racing team, who have a huge number of riders here present on the track. Also his team member Marek Skopek, he's from the same box. They will be working very hard to get everything on the road. Racing for the LRP Poland team from Germany residing Arnoud Friedrich, and if we're looking at the classifications so far, then these are the guys we'll have to look out to. Because due to a DNF in race 1 in the Slovakian ring, it's actually Arnoud Friedrich who's leading the championship after 4 races with 85 points. Gap is 10 points towards the Swedish rider of Christopher Bergman. Camille, we already mentioned him.
Yes, third overall.
Kermin is also racing from that Wojcik racing team, and they have Yamahas. We still haven't got a BMW, which is still the old type of BMW. Nowadays we're slowly but gradually are seeing the new version of the BMW 1000RR coming into play, and while we're looking at the rostrum here for the stock 600.
So, Yuri Markivka on the 3rd position.
The number 10 is there. He thought, well, I'll take a brief moment to step on the top step. I think it was good.
And of course, the untouchable today, number 94.
Kevin Renner, we forgot Kevin, the 69 Kevin Renner, runner from Austria in 2nd place, and we're waiting for our runaway leader, and still, of course, championship leader in the stock category.
Yes, we see Bridgestone, Dunlop and Pirelli as well on the podium.
That's good to see that the multi-manufacturing system within the Alpe Adria and the stock series is really paying off. I think it's good. It adds to the sport. It's a good thing.
For sure, because when you have a mono tire choice, it's very difficult, because everybody needs to adapt to the tire instead of having their own compound and their own manufacturer choice.
Yeah, and every type of tire manufacturer has his own characteristics, which will probably suit the rider, suit the track, so different. It goes more into the equation. I think this really adds to the flavor.
For sure it does. And it's the Hungarian national anthem for Richard Bodis.
Yeah, on a Hungarian ground, which is a good thing.
3 minutes to start.
Yeah, unfortunately, we should have loved to have seen a little bit more of the Superstock, but we have about 12 people on the grid. We have a DNS here for the Czech rider, Michal Fila, but we'll have to have a look whether he's on the grid, yes or no.
No, Fila unfortunately isn't, I believe isn't on the grid.
No.
He tried to ride a bike yesterday. He had a big crash in Slovakia ring when he crashed out from the leading position with Michal Prasek. He had a big concussion. So he said that he almost lost all his memory, and that he could not recall the situation, and also cannot look at the TV or the computer, so it was a harsh crash for him. He was literally out for a couple of minutes and had to be flown out of the track to the hospital with the helicopter. So it was a difficult situation for him, and we missed him also in Assen.
Yes, we were.
So
yeah.
yesterday he just tried to ride to see how everything goes. Can he manage to ride? Actually, just to hold the bike. So he said that he felt good, that he feels the progress. So hopefully in the next race he will come back. But I believe he's not on the grid with us today.
I think it's really quite difficult. You have to get your concentration fully together, and after a heavy concussion, it's quite difficult to
Very difficult.
to
very
keep
difficult.
your concentration also for 12 laps. It's not the one lap. We're racing here. We're not touring around in the mountains. We're racing here at full speed with more than way over 200 brake horsepower in these Superstock machines. So it's not an easy toy to play around with.
Of course, you have to be maximally prepared because these are powerful bikes, and they have a high average speed, and of course a big maximum speed. So one slight mistake can lead you straight to the hospital. So you can never be too careful.
Nevertheless, we have a Yamaha and a BMW on the front row, and we actually got the old Aprilia RSV4, RSV4. We still have one in this championship available. Beautiful machine still.
Yes, beautiful bike, but not so highly competitive.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But nevertheless, good to have it, and good to have the variety. No big V4 Ducatis at this moment in the Superstock category. We'll see a few of those to get the mixture of different brands again within the Superbike. That will be fun. So again, here also different tire manufacturers we just mentioned before, but this time we'll just stick to the two different manufacturers between two Dunlops at the numbers 1 and 2, a Pirelli for the BMW of Arnoud Friedrich. So we'll stick to two different brands right now. We'll change that again if we go to the Superbike category, because we'll have the full mix available of all the tire manufacturers here in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. European Superstock 1000 on its way for the first race of this weekend. A race over 12 laps again.
This will also, as you said, be a 12-lap race. So a lot of excitement in front of us. We'll see can Bergman hold off Skopek and Friedrich.
Serious lap times, you know, a 1:55.4, which is clearly away from the rest of the field. 1.2 seconds between number 1 and 2, but then, you know, 1:55.6, a 1:55.9, 1:55.9, 1:56.3. That's all pretty close together. So if Christopher Bergman has it his way, he's trying to pull away probably like he did before. But nevertheless, it's going to be a fight, especially for the points and the, you know, maybe vacant leading spot for the championship so far. Arnoud Friedrich is defending a 10-point lead in this championship. Flags are being woven in the back, the green flag in the back and the red flag in the front. We're on our way. It's a really, really good start for Marek, for Arnoud Friedrich, but Marek Skopek missed the traffic light completely. It looks like it is the...
Friedrich is in the front,
yeah,
in the leading position.
he cut the corner. Well done on our way, everyone's safely on its way.
But now we have a change in the lead. It's now Bergman who managed to take over. No, it's number 77.
No, it's the 71.
Sorry.
It's Christopher Bergman. It's the 71 of Christopher Bergman. He's got the black letters on the 71 bike. And although he did not have the whole shot, he really put things back into order according to his agenda. And he retook the lead straight away again.
We see that one of the bikes has the problem. It's he's right in front of the safety car. But Bergman pulls away immediately in front of Friedrich. This is a huge, huge lead in the second sector.
Yeah, he did remarkably well as well in the Superbike, not giving everything away yet. Just stay with us for the last race of today. But clearly has found his rhythm here, and if he can pull away at such a pace in the first lap, while he's wheeling out of the back part of the track towards the tight left-hander here, and then we got the last sector here. Whoa, three guys, four guys together. We just missed that because we were concentrating on Christoph Bergman.
So big fight for the second position. Friedrich has only a slight advantage. Off to the start and finish line they go.
Yeah,
well, Friedrich in front of Kremien and Skopek right behind them. This will be a close race indeed. So Kremien trying to overtake Friedrich. Skopek is right behind. Yes, and Kremien manages to get out in front of Arnold Friedrich. He's our newly second place man. Right behind them it's Skopek and Michal Praszek. First lap is behind us. Still no changes in the lead. Second position being held by Kremien in front of Arnold Friedrich. So it's Bergman way in the front. Nobody can even come close. He has well over 3 seconds of an advantage in front of Kremien and Friedrich. Skopek is close to them both. Praszek holding his position, but still in contention for the top spots.
Last lap was a 1:54.656, fastest lap of the race. Everyone is improving, but the difference is already about 4.79 seconds towards Kremien, for Arnold Friedrich, for Marek Skopek, for Michael Praszek, for the other Michael Sembera, then Thomas Zwitok.
Now Skopek manages to pass in front of Arnold Friedrich. Marek Skopek passes on to the position number 3. So Friedrich now down the order. Praszek now trying to hunt down Friedrich and overtake the position. He's very close and it's possible for him to overtake.
Yeah, these last lap times were quite evenly matched, 75.3, 75.2, 75.5, so it's actually all done on track. It's evenly matched, close together.
Over the start and finish line, 9 laps to go. Bergman way in the front.
Passing on start, finish straight now. 6.5 seconds is the difference, while we got a personal best lap for Marek Skopek over 156.76 for Arnoud Friedrich and Michael Prasek. So it's just Skopek who's doing the best business at this moment.
Still watching the fight, but now Skopek goes wide. Skopek goes wide. Did he lose position or manage to stay? He managed to stay on his place, but it was very close for him to lose the position.
Bergman is still doing a good job keeping Skopek at bay. Arnold Friedrich still following closely behind. It's a beautiful fight there, with the number 6 of Michael Prasek clearly in your screen right now.
Can Prasek overtake him? Changes, still in the lead, but now Prasek tries to find a way to pass onto the position, in the 4th position. So can he maybe manage something in this first fast right corner? So Kremien still cannot pull away. He has a small margin, but still not enough to call it his own.
Last lap was a personal best for Kamil. Trying to keep these guys at bay, pushing them forward. Nice freight train there. We're in lap 5 right now. Christoph Bergman last lap was a 55.7. Doesn't need to be any more for Kremien with a 56.9. Closely followed by Marek Skopek for Arnoud Friedrich, for Michael Prasek, Semberad, and then Artur Welebski.
So Prasek still trying to find a way to overtake Arnoud Friedrich. Can Prasek now take him? Goes for the inside, but still Friedrich closes the door. Prashek maintains his position. So that's fifth. That is the fight for the fourth position between Friedrich and Prashek. Prashek trying to find a way from the inside, from the outside, but still no answer to his problem. Again, he will now try to overtake here at this hairpin. Yes, Prashek takes the fourth position, number 6, in front of Arnaud Friedrich.
Beautiful block pass in the inside, and he kept the speed because otherwise would have been voluntarily a victim for the cutback again. But a clean pass again here. The short left-hander here.
So 6 laps to go. We have had the half race milestone. We are looking at the fight for the second position between Skopek and Kremien, numbers 7 and 33. And right behind them, second and a half behind, is Michal Prashek, who managed to break away from Arnaud Friedrich, who was actually holding him down. So maybe now Prashek can join the fight for a podium. That would be an excellent situation for him. Although we see now Kremien pulling away slightly in front of Marek Skopek. Still with this fight for the second position. Now Skopek a bit behind. We are with the leader, number 71, Christopher Bergman, for Wojcik Racing Team. So Kremien holding on to his second place here at the start and finish line. 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 laps to go in this Superstock 1000 race. An exciting race indeed. Although Bergman pulled away way in front. Again, we are back with the fight for the second position. It's still Kremien in front of Skopek. Prashek is slightly closing down that gap, but still not enough if he wants to join this battle for the podium. After this race, of course, we will have the closure with our strongest category in the championship. It's of course the Superbike category. So a lot of excitement still yet to come, and again we will see Christopher Bergman on the grid in the Superbike class. He is now in your screen as we speak. The Yamaha R1M from Wojcik Racing, Polish team, which has been competing here in the Alpe Adria Championship and as well in the Endurance World Championship. So experienced team with an experienced rider. So 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher Bergman still in your screen. Way in the front.
Yeah, it's 14 seconds to be exactly. We're trying to get a bit of the live timing back online here again, so Our apologies there.
Big gap between him and Kamil Kremien. Kremien controlling his second position, and now we see Prashek slightly closing down lap by lap with only 3.5 laps to go. Almost the same difference between Kremien and Skopek, almost the same between Skopek and Prashek. Slightly bigger gap between Prashek and Skopek, but anything can happen in this 3 laps to go. So we'll see, can Prashek pull something out of his sleeve. Again, we are with Bergman, number 71. Untouchable in this Superstock 1000 race from the beginning. He didn't had a perfect start, but after he started, after he caught up, he took the lead and he didn't leave it for 1 second. Over the line again he goes. We are in the penultimate lap of the Superbike. Sorry, of.
Oh, we got a crash there.
We have a crash. Who is that? We cannot see quite well.
Is that?
We cannot see, but I believe it's one of the leading guys. Wouldn't want to jinx it, but
no, it's always difficult. No, we're not going to do any predictions unless we know exactly who it is. But since we haven't got the images available, so yeah, sorry, we're out of data right now to give you the right update on this. Everything is hanging on the wind. We'll have to go back to what we see visually.
yes, that was Marek Skopek who crashed out of this race, because we see now Kremien and Prashek on the screen without Marek Skopek. This is Arnold Friedrich. He's way behind. This is our leader, Christopher Bergman, number 71, who is entering the final lap of this race. It should be the final lap of the race, but for the second time we have 2 laps to go. I don't know why.
Yeah, screen says 2 laps to go. We got some difficulties here, and hopefully we're finally back online again. It says 2 laps to go. And Christopher Bergman still got enough in hand to take it slowly, because the difference between him and Kamil Kremien is 16.6 seconds, and he's saving his energies because he's going to jump from one bike to another towards the Superbike category straight away after that. Michael Praszek now inherited 3rd position, and it's a bit of a gap towards the guy in 4th position, Arnold Friedrich, who is closely tailed at this moment by Michael Sembera with the BMW. And it has to do with a 2:01 in the last lap from Arnold Friedrich. What's wrong there?
Some troubles for sure, because we have a lot of guys in trouble here in this Superstock 1000 race. Only 8 of them on track. Even 7, I have to say, without the Skopek, who maybe got back onto the track, but nothing Nothing too good for him after the crash. He's now way behind on the 8th place. I don't know if he went into the pit or not.
If he could pursue, there's still quite some valuable points up for grabs. So why not? If you got the bike back on the road again, just a matter.
Sure, the 8th place brings home a lot of points. Now we are in the final lap with Christopher Bergman. Little by little, we are approaching to the end of this Superstock 1000 race, which has been dominated by Christopher Bergman.
Yeah, it was like clinical almost, as to say. When he only lost the whole shot, and from there on he took command and see what he can do in the next race, because he'll have some stiffer competition there. It's a bit of an repetition of the exercises he'd done in Assen, where he also was a bit too good for the rest of the field. Nevertheless, it was a really nice fight for the 2nd and 3rd position. Unfortunately for Marek Skopek. Bit unfortunate there, but then again, he's still there, he's still on the road.
Following Bergman to his victory here. Bergman approaches the last sector, enters it, and
should bring it home safely.
To the final left corner before saying hi to the audience with his right leg, looking over.
Yeah, he's got all the time in the world now, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. He was looking over to the other part of the track if he can see anybody coming, but nobody's even near. Well over 16 seconds of a lead. Final corner for Christopher Bergman, and off he goes to the start and finish line to take yet another victory in this Superstock 1000 category.
And it's a difference. It was 10 points between himself and Arnoud Friedrich, and if he comes home in 11th, in 5th position, that will make the difference, and he will regain the lead in the. He will take the lead in the championship. While we have a very close fight here on our hands, again for the 7th and the 2nd and 3rd position.
Yes, the 2nd position took Kamil Kremien in front of Michal Prashek by 1/10 of a second. Absolutely. And now 4th position will be Michal Sembera.
So it was not Arnoud Friedrich's day today. He would have wished it, but it wasn't his day today.
Yes, obviously some technical issues. Maybe he touched with Skopek at one point, or no, Skopek was a bit behind, in front of Friedrich. Friedrich was falling back already, so probably some technical issue.
Yeah, he saved it at least, because with his last lap of a 2:01.6, it was clearly not his pace. Nevertheless, if it's damage control, then he probably will be satisfied with the 5th place if there's anything wrong with the bike. He brought it home safely anyway.
This is it for the Superstock 1000 category, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed this race, and we invite you all to be with us for the final race of this beautiful, beautiful hot Saturday at Pannonia Ring, which is the Superbike category. We'll be taking a short break and be back with you shortly. Thank you.